Hi, everybody, and welcome to Best Podcast Ever, where three idiots you don't know talk about a hobby you've never heard of. However, that is again a blatant lie. Kevin cannot be with us this week.
Yep, we are back to two idiots, but we assure you we are also back to the hobby that you've never heard of because we're actually going to talk about slot cars again.
Yes, we've decided to talk about that company that everybody seems to like but us, Carrera.
And Brian drops the C-bomb.
You know, nobody wants to hear it in this group, apparently, but everywhere else in the world, everybody wants to hear about it. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to go over the Carrera 2017 lineup. We'll go through and oh my God.
Listen, Brian, nobody cares about what you're doing right now.
What do you even, where did you come from? Okay, I guess we're doing this now.
I guess we're starting over. Is what Kevin's trying to tell us.
The next race is in New Jersey.
Good luck. We have a fan that wants us to review a car.
No, we have no fans.
We have one fan.
We have
He's
one
not
fan.
even from this country. He's from Sweden.
Wow, okay.
The land of chocolate, or so I'm told.
Well, now that we've immediately alienated him, Kevin, what did he request?
He wants us to run NSR cars,
Okay. Well,
not Carreras.
That's better
That
than
sounds a
talking
million
about
times
Carrera.
better than what our plan was tonight.
Yeah.
So let's continue
Alright.
to not talk about the slot cars as an industry, as a hobby, or even as a general interest.
Yeah, no, we're just going to make people listen to us play with slot cars, which is fine.
From
That's
other
back to our
countries,
original
so,
format.
shout out to all of our fans, like in Sweden and Ecuador and
Elsewhere in Sweden.
whatever,
Down the road in Sweden.
the
High man
Netherlands,
from Sweden.
Yeah.
whatever that neutral country is.
All right, so what have you brought, Kev?
Right now, as requested, we have a C6R from NSR on worn out qualifying super grip tires.
So so those are actually the NSR tires.
Yes.
Okay, so we don't have to explain what super tire is, which will save a
No,
lot
we
of
will.
time. Oh, we will.
They're right there, ready to go. It's,
Oh, ready to slap them on. All right.
I did prepare this car. It's not just me throwing it on the track, as it will sound.
There is some movie magic here. We've acquired a camera. Who knows when we'll actually start using it?
Yeah.
So, Kevin, what are your general thoughts of NSR as a brand?
I like it. Plus, I built this car, so it's pretty nice.
What did you do to make it from stock to what we're hearing now?
Lots of hot glue, weight, moving the motor around, getting the gear mesh right.
You mentioned hot glue. What does that have to do with anything?
Oh, nothing, of course. But in all honesty, the NSR chassis are super flexible and shit. So,
Yeah, so the hot glue gives you a little bit of rigidity and holds the motor pod.
I mean, it's very important not to have a floppy Corvette.
That's true.
well, it's just like the real thing. It's all plastic with a good motor.
Yeah, and one sad leaf spring across the rear axle.
That is honestly one of the biggest draws of NSR is the fact that they're not using Mabuchi motors. They
That's
do
true.
make their own.
They are pretty much alone in making their own motors. I mean, slotted motors are good, but they start their life as Mabuchi motors, and then they get a little bit of tuning from slotted before they get packaged. NSR
NSRs are
starts
just
basically
Novello.
from scratch, yeah.
The man with one name.
Also, to speak a little bit about this car in general and how we tend to run our NSRs is we take the magnets out of most everything, truth be told.
Oh, yes, this is running no magnet.
We tend to run no magnet with everything they let us. There's one NSR race we run with the single magnet they come with, but
Yeah.
as you can hear, literally everyone in BTE recommend that the first thing you do with any NSR is rip the magnet out.
Yeah, any NSR, any slotted, and if you can find the SCX Pro Audi R8, rip the magnet out and put the thank us
parts
later.
in.
Yeah. I would say the same for Ninko.
Yeah, no, Ninko has no, actually they don't have the tokenest of token magnets. That's Cartrix. The
Yes.
Cartrix magnet might as well not come with the car.
Yeah, because it's kind of a joke. But
You know what? It's funny, like how we always rip the you buy the NSR, but it's got to run this. You got to run the slotted motor in it, or I wonder what the ball bearing motor would do in the NSR.
Oh, you mean that motor they don't make anymore?
yes,
the short can ball bearing motor?
yes,
The one that was
boxer
super-
style, frame.
That was super good.
Yeah.
And they just decided that didn't need to exist
I
anymore.
mean, they do still make the boxer sized one. I have it in my.
I think all of our Group 5 cars have.
Yeah, I have it in my Group 5 935, but I mean, that's a good motor too, but the short can,
Just
well, first of all, it's a better motor, I think, and it also just fits into cars that can't hold the long can.
So, just to discuss the actual car and NSR a little bit, I'll go into my company spiel because I do know about NSR. I did sell them during my tenure at NJ Hobby.
And while you do this, I'm going to swap to silicone super tires.
NSR is actually in a unique position because, with the exception of the Mosler, I don't think they ever made their own molds.
Yeah, no, I think that's for the most part they've used what
Slot.it. Or Skelectrics, yeah.
Skelectric.
They use Skelectrics molds, and that they gave away the Ghost when they refused to repaint the bumpers on the Audi R8. That's really what gave it away, because the Audi R8s that they had still said Bilstein on the front on the front plastic
the
piece.
R8 GT3,
Yeah.
not the. That's right. They didn't make an.
They made an R10, but
They made an R10
Yeah.
and R15, R18, the hybrid one. Yeah, yeah, that's true. They must have made their own 917 because there was not a Skelectric 917.
Well, Fly wasn't really owned by anyone at
Yeah,
that time. Which, by the way,
It's a
Fly
little
is
bit-
now
I
making
think-
new cars.
I don't think that's the same mold as the Fly one though.
I think with their modern stuff they stopped doing it.
Yeah,
Then again, when was the last time they came out with a new car? That would have been the Corvette. And that's totally a Skelectrics he's holding.
the C6R. Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, funny that you say that. They're making
They have a
McLaren.
C7R coming out.
Yeah,
don't
the
they?
C7R is out, but they're also making the McLaren 650. Also
Also
Skelectrics.
Skelectric.
Yeah.
The C7 though there isn't a Skelectric C7R yet though, is there?
No, because Carrera made it.
So are they using the Carrera?
And the Carrera is massive in comparison.
Well, yeah, because it's Carrera.
I'm sure if we did any amount of digging, we'll find where that body came from.
Yeah.
Because I can see Skelectrics
It
making
doesn't
it.
look like a normal,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
But I mean, it could have been Mr. Slot car. It could have been
Oh wow, this is
significantly better with
significantly better
clean
than
tires.
super
Super tires as opposed to used up qualifying
So,
rubber.
so for our friends that are not in the continental United States, let's go over Super Tire real
they're
quick.
super.
And tires.
Yes.
So
Also
Super Tire
15x8s too,
is
not the
a
16s or 17s.
important numbers for people who are not in the States.
Those are metric measurements. That's the actual height of the tire in millimeters.
Oh, he wasn't using stock numbers?
No.
These are 15x8s. Those are 17x10s or whatever I took off.
Yeah.
So, Super Tire is a cottage industry company. He makes tires for both HO and 132nd cars. You can buy these tires at NJ Hobby.
That's true.
Feel free to go to that website if I didn't manage to take it down accidentally again. That happened last week.
Yes, well.
But yes, they are actually surprisingly good tires. And for a fraction of the cost of, say, NSR Glutentrudes,
Yes.
you can get better performance. And they're just infinitely more customizable as far as sizes.
Yeah, they come in a host of sizes, and they're much more durable because they're silicone. So you can,
The only of which you'll know is the 734.
yeah, but you can clean them, and they're clean. You know, we have a joke about cleaning soft rubber tires, like the Ninko qualifying tires, where you can just clean them all day until you have no tire left because it all comes out onto the tape.
It's like trying to wipe a marker.
It's like trying to dry the ocean with a paper towel.
But in many ways, NSR has done their fair share of really weird things. For example, they had the Ford GT signed by who drove the silvery blue Ford GT?
Silvery blue Ford GT. Which one?
Was it
Andretti.
It was Andretti.
Oh no! That's
Oh.
the blue and white striped. We were talking. It was AJ Foy who drove the silver and black one.
But anyway, they had one of the drivers sign one of the GT40s, and it was like a weird number. It was like 174 of them. And I'm pretty sure just because he was done signing them at that point, and he walked away.
That's funny. I never heard that story.
Well, no, because we were only ever able to order 3. My dad kept 1, and we had 2 NSR collectors come in and buy them both.
So that was like from the '66.
Yeah,
The 1, 2, 3 finish they had in '66.
yeah.
Okay.
They had one
Which
of the.
were which cars? Do you remember?
Oh, this was a
talking
point
about
of
this
this was a
earlier.
point of conversation earlier, actually.
Chip Ganassi's fat.
So those were the GT40 Mark 1s.
Yeah.
No, those were Mark 2s.
Bruce McLaren was first.
Yes.
The gold car
which was the number 5. I think Carroll Shelby was in the black one.
Bruce McLaren was in the black one.
Okay. I don't remember. Well, there were obviously 2 drivers in each car. I actually don't remember, oddly enough. That's the kind of thing you would
Wow,
expect
I
to
did
see.
not call
remember
that.
which car it was though. Because the red number 3 blew up leading the race. It overheated.
Yeah. I think the black car won.
The black car
Black car
won.
We're just
Yeah.
not sure about
The
second or
blue
third.
Gulfish car was second, and the gold one was
Because I remember
third?
in the Skelectric set, the Golf car was another one of the weathered cars.
The
in that
Gulf car was
set.
from 69.
No, it wasn't.
That was
It wasn't an
Jack Hicks.
actual
So
Golf
this
car. It
was-
was just a powder blue car with red headlights.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know the one. Sorry. Yes. With the.
I'm pretty sure that was second.
Okay.
I mean, it's
I'm
not like
trying
we
to-
have Google in our pockets. and
I'm
could
trying
check
to
this.
imagine the picture. Yeah, we are arguing about a picture we could look at while you are listening to us in a format where you can't look at the
Or
picture.
a box set. that's
In an
still
episode where we
engine.
went out of our way to try and answer a fan's question and then
Which we're
dove
not
into the
addressing.
weeds and swam away.
But we're still driving that car. And it's
We are. and
actually
it's-
really awesome.
But to speak of the NSR cars that the guy was actually requesting versus other cars in the NSR line, really with any of the NSRs, you have to realize their best modern car is always going to be the Mosler.
Yeah,
And the reason for that is they designed the mold. On that one, they actually sat down and made a good body.
It's so much lighter though.
With all of the new ones that are Skelectrics cars that they just put NSR parts on the bottom, they look amazing.
Yeah.
Because Skelectrics has always made a good looking car,
Right.
but essentially they tried to just put their own guts in the bottom of it, which is funny because that means NSR is like the hipster version of every company that makes their own bodies and puts slotted stuff on the bottom, which is a
much,
lot more
yeah.
prevalent out there.
Yeah, it's true. I guess you're right. I mean, there's.
Remember when they first came out, right? Ninko beat them to the punch making the Mosler.
Yeah, but
And
their
that car
Mosler
looked like
was
a catfish.
Yeah.
It was fat. It was
Yeah.
enormous. And then Ninko or NSR comes out with a car that's like half the size,
Yeah.
lighter.
And remember when NSR
was
cars were
Sidewinder.
$75 and we're like, oh man,
Who would
no,
ever pay that?
no one's gonna, we can't stock multiple NSRs in multiple
Well,
liveries.
speaking of, I mean, the first NSR I remember seeing was the GT40 Mark IV.
Yeah,
The yellow one.
that was the
the
third
Mario
one.
Andretti Sebring
Yeah.
one.
I have that car.
But it had a god awful chrome engine in the
engine.
back. And that was enough to make me say, this is terrible. And I walked away from it. The second one I saw was a Gulf GT40 Mark IV, which shouldn't have existed. So
I was trying to push Kevin into buying a Mosler that was a fake Golf car.
I
Then I
remember
bought the fake
joking
Coca-Cola
that.
car.
I remember saying that NSR must stand for not so realistic because they've gone and put this terrible chrome engine in the back and they made a Gulf car of a car that was not sponsored by Gulf. And I walked away.
they were
The
making
NSR one was real though.
which one?
The NSR or Mosler that was Gulf painted, that was a real car.
Oh, that was a real car.
That was
The
real,
Coke
yeah.
car was fake.
Oh, and that's the one you bought.
Yes.
Good.
You said piss Mike off and buy the fake car. I bought it because it was black and it looked cool.
It says Coke Zero on it.
Oh,
guess
I'm
that's-
returning
yeah.
that.
Is that still a soda?
Well, my choice
They
is,
just changed it last week to Coke Zero Sugar because they thought people didn't understand that the zero meant zero sugar all along.
So in other ways, still don't buy Coke Zero.
I can't name the
YouTube
last time I like.
Ganassi. Or Pepsi Max, depending.
Depending on your preference, Chip. We're just gonna change. We're gonna change the format of the show to just us having a one-sided conversation with Chip Ganassi until he responds in some way.
I'm pretty sure
Do we
we.
have a Twitter handle yet, or are we? Do we have that?
I mean,
don't,
we
right.
have multiple
We're gonna,
Facebook
Chip.
personalities, but we have zero.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We're gonna hashtag your accidents and everything, and you wiping guys.
Mike,
out.
why are you looking through your glasses like that? That's really weird. Why are you tipping them down? Those aren't sunglasses at all.
Have fun having Target leave you next year. Where are you gonna get your Pizza Hut Express now, Patty?
Okay, let's try and climb back. We're in-
NSR, the other cars he requested that we don't have.
Well, they can be future episodes.
Well, we're not gonna buy those cars. They're
What were the cars?
the Z4,
The Z4, BMW
I think
Z4.
the Audi R8,
Okay.
the 911. I've seen those cars run.
I've actually raced them because one of the racers, who we will simply refer to as Doctor, not Dr. Evil, but other Doctor.
Yes.
Doctor bought all the NSRs back when I was... So, to give a quick history of Brian working at NJ Hobby,
If only we had another character that could burst in and make this stop.
Another dentist also had the Audi and Porsche, and they all run the same exact way.
They're
not... So,
They're big compared to the Mosler, which is what it was getting spanked by.
That's where this long-winded conversation is going. This guy, when I was unemployed and was working at NJ Hobby because I had gotten my MBA,
That's a paradox.
but I was working severely under my skill level, decided that he was going to beat my Mosler, which is in a Sidewinder configuration with a 20,000 RPM, which is really good because it's light. And he decided he was going to buy everything but the Mosler and beat me. However, what reality came down to is, Mike, do you remember how bad the Scalextrics R8 is because of how heavy it is?
That was the car, for me, that was the tipping point of me believing that Scalextric had any value whatsoever.
Yes. Now imagine if you put NSR parts on the bottom of it and you paid $100 for it.
Because the first really bad Scalextric I had was actually a Renault F1 car. 2007, 8, somewhere around there. It was the Nelson Piquet Jr. Crashgate era. And fittingly enough, it was just so imbalanced that it would pick up the braids in every single corner and just shoot into the wall.
On radius 1 corners where you relied on the brakes.
Yeah. But then after that, the next really bad Scalextric experience I had was the Audi R8. It's ungodly.
That had the offset inline can motor, didn't it?
Which?
No, it was a Sidewinder.
Oh, it was?
The Audi was a Sidewinder.
Yeah. The Audi was a Sidewinder, and then they made the Porsche.
This is
and
an
again,
offset inline.
That's just
No, as offset
heavy
as
and
to the
terrible.
side.
Oh.
Like Scalextric.
That was a
like the
Maserati. That was a
and the
Maserati.
Lister Storm.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Ooh, Lister
The
Storm.
Lister Storm was a good
Ooh.
car. Not compared to the other LMPs.
No.
But I won my first race in that car. Against Blood Beach.
Yeah. But yeah, really, that's where NSR is these days, and I think that really kind of puts a lid on NSR right now.
What does
Is
that have to do with the 911 or the?
they're imagine how heavy those bodies are with a magneted chassis to them.
Oh.
Now take the magnet out, put a decent power plant underneath it, but you're not going to stop Yertle the Turtle from ruining your $100 car.
No, but when I raced the other doctor, I ran a Mosler, and I built that car for like endless amounts of time.
Well, yeah, because that was
And
a
I vanished into the
Mosler.
neutral zone again. Mike had done it years previous. He returned for his.
The funny thing is that you weren't there when I did it, and I wasn't there when you did it.
It's true.
So as far as he knows, we're the same person, and we just exist to torment him in different planes of existence.
But yeah, that's where NSR is now. They keep buying these horrible, horrible, horrible bodies, putting well-designed floppy chassis on the bottom of them, and then go out and buy a Slot.it instead.
Well, funnily
he
enough,
is General Zod.
I mean, we are always trying to get our, I guess because we're focused on non-magnet racing, and so torsional rigidity is important. We're always trying to get our chassis stiffer. But if you look at it like sideways, even if you go through their product listings, they're like, look how soft you can make your chassis. Look how much slop you can put it. Like, look
How terrible you
Track
can make it.
surface. So when we were running on
Yeah.
that track, you wanted it to be hard.
Yeah.
So I got that NSR,
The wood.
the white chassis
Yeah,
for the
wood one.
track
Yeah.
to run on Scalextric's Radius 1. And that was the ticket.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on the track surface, but we have mostly been racing on wood for the last couple of years, and it's pretty obvious that a non-magnet car on a wood track, you just want the chassis to be as stiff as possible.
Given the explanation now for hot glue.
Yes.
So, do we have any final words on NSR before we just kind of enjoy our hobby for a little bit?
I suppose not.
I would still say the Mosler was the best out of the box.
They still make it too.
I know.
Yeah, they still have it.
You have one on you, don't you?
I have one on me. Yeah, I
Oh.
actually have it in.
Now, is there a magnet in it?
There is a magnet in it.
Pop it out real fast and let me run the Corvette against it.
Oh
so we
boy,
can see how bad
folks, you might hear an accidental commercial break as I
As you try to move your laptop.
as I try to move the laptop off my box without pausing the recording.
Well, and the good news of things, all you have to do with the magnet is just push it up against the motor, and now you have a no magnet car.
Or I could just pop it open. It's like
Or we could lie and say. We
Also,
don't
if
have
either
any
of you
these
has a
cars.
controller, you can be spared from using my Parma controller. That's my second controller.
What tires are on it?
the gluten truths.
Oh, allow me to swap back to gluten truths.
Yeah.
Used. You know, I was looking at the price of those tonight. They really are that much.
Actually, let me make sure this magnet's not glued into place because this magnet might be glued.
Why don't you just tell me what magnet's in that car? Or would a fair fight be me on super tires versus
Probably you
with
on
the
super
magnet?
tires and you in the magnet, yeah.
Well, in the meantime, I'm going to run some Slot.it out.
Almost about time for a completely useless test against something.
Well, plus mine's a Sidewinder.
Let's put the better chassis with a magnet in the better configuration for magnet racing against the angle winder heavier car.
All right, this interlude is a Slot.it 962 with the box for 2 as an inline non-magnet.
Maybe
This is
Danny's
this is
not
actually
driving that
the
car, but he'd
first
be proud.
like giant air quotes race on BTE best track ever.
This is the first
1.5.
comparison.
Yeah, since we eliminated the Fox.
The Fox.
Oh, the Fox. And the Mustang is actually on the track right now.
Although you can still drop off there because there's no border.
I mean, you could put like an Acme donut hole there.
I might just have to do that.
Are we bringing back grocery store reviews?
Yeah, I could run down to Acme. That is my nearest grocery store.
Which one?
Yeah, the one in Clark that used to be an AMP.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that thing's
Actually,
me.
the Clock SharpRite is slightly closer, but I value my time and my life, so.
I
don't
still
like-
remember the day that store opened. Oh, my God.
The Clock SharpRite?
Yeah, I was there at the grand opening.
Hey guys, this is actually a fair fight because
No,
I need
you
more
were spanking
volts.
me.
I need. Well, I'm just
Oh, yeah,
in.
you need more volts. That's true, because we're running on 10 volts
I can't even get close. Ooh.
Why is that piece of wood there?
for that.
Okay,
Pointed straight.
so
For that.
wait, playing the ground is lava. Like,
We're gonna put that here. So I
Yeah,
can use
actually,
it to
that's a
run off.
good idea. You can actually use that to help you with the foxhole.
so what we've learned today is that magneted cars are quicker than non-magneted cars, even at lower voltage.
Regardless of tire.
I have the 917 too, but that's like nowhere near a fair fight, right?
Oh no, then it's really. Ooh.
The 917 will get spanked, because the 917 is not very good. In fact, I have turned mine into a Frankenmola.
Ah.
Well, let's see what we can do here. So this is the this is another magnetless NSR. It's the
Oh, you want bluegrass
917.
boogie, do you?
Having a good time.
Yeah,
This
is the
is
USA
the
ready?
Team Austria one that blew up on lap 2.
Yes.
60s GT, eh?
I'm handing Kevin right now a 3D printed chassis in the Fly Sunoco Lola T70 with the Shark 20 motor and gearing out of a NSR 917.
Have we
the
tried
one.
that on the cast with the new chassis yet?
We have not.
We have
Not
not.
against another car. No. In fact, no. It hasn't been on the show. So get ready to hear the scraping sounds of a 3D printed chassis hitting the track. And here we go. Kevin's going to.
Although I do have to say, as far as wanting to turn a Fly or an Inco
Yeah.
or anything that's terrible into a reasonable car,
Yeah, 3D printed chassis, not a bad option.
Yeah.
Fly body's a great option.
you were drooling over that GT40 at NJ Hobby.
Yes, I always say Fly made a great looking car. They just looked like they had a 5-year-old cut the wheels.
Yeah, I feel like
like
it needs a
fly
little work
away.
yet, but.
Well, the braids are not right.
Oh, yeah. Those are NSR braids, but they haven't been worked in. Because I've only done some very light test laps on that. It still has the Fly fronts in it, which is not great.
You should probably get something a
But
little
at
more.
least
They're
it's
on
not
a-
independent.
No, they're on a straight axle, but they're the Fly front tires. And wheels.
If the braids wear in, this will be.
Yeah.
'Cause
Well, yeah,
it's
you're
handling
on an
way
inside
better.
track.
With the handling, though, it's just
Yeah.
you're stepping out.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing. I've run an NSR 917 in this class for several years, and it just doesn't handle.
Well, you
so,
and me both.
And it's starting to pull you on the straights too.
Yeah. I like the sound of the screws hitting the track, too, because
With the
you have
3D
to use the screw positions that Fly dictated, which is, screws everywhere, basically.
The gear meshes.
Do you get to choose rigidity with those things, or did you just pick what type of plastic
You
they were
just
gonna
pick what color you want.
Uh-huh.
The rigidity is the same on all of them.
probably?
Yeah, gear mesh is very nice. I kept the same gear set I kept the gear set together that was in the
Well, that's the
917,
gears.
because that was a really good pair of gears, so I just swapped them over. I had wanted to run a ball bearing motor in this, and that's when I discovered it was discontinued, so I just took the motor and the gear is straight out of my 917.
Well,
And
if you ever
pop it
need
in
to
there.
banish someone to the neutral zone again, you always know who to.
Yeah, I can borrow the GT40. So, well, I'm glad that car is not terrible because I have had no frame of reference for it because every time I remember to try it out,
Well, this is
nobody's
also
here. So,
this is also Kevin versus Brian, and that's
right.
Well, it's your car, so
Yeah.
okay. So, this harkens all the way back to the first episode. In lane 1, we have Mighty Mike C, and in lane 2, we have that asshole Brian.
Yep.
Would you like the P68 NSR to compare with?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Compared to a less terrible car. That's
you'll always be my favorite Team Austria car that blew up on lap 1.
We'll get ready for another team car that blew up on
lap
lap one.
1.
right. The Ford P68.
Is that the Allen Man?
Yeah, there were great hopes for it. Powered by the Cosworth DFV Formula One engine. This is the first time it saw use outside of Formula
Mike,
One.
can you step back so I can see that turn?
The mighty DFV that found its way into almost every type of racing over the years from 1968 to 1992.
Fires happened with that car.
Yes.
I was about to say that's what that would for.
Completely revolutionized Formula One in 1968, but never really found dominance anywhere else except the DFX version in Indy cars. But as much as they wanted to make it work as an endurance engine by just detuning it so it would last longer, it just never really worked. It never had great success in that form.
This looks like a pretty fair fight.
It does, actually.
Because obviously they're running the same motor and I think the same gearing, but...
Sorry.
That's all right.
See, I don't think the P68 can show off the short wheelbase
Yeah.
on this track.
Well, I am King Short Wheelbase.
Oh!
The ghost of Eric Broadley felt that one.
Like a pancake. Actually, let me get a good look at this.
Yeah.
Because I do own a 3D printer, but it's a different type.
Yeah.
I really wish they would just sell me the designs.
And then you could make them with whatever material you wanted to use. You could
Nylon,
control the
which would be a
hardness.
million times better.
Nylon would be ideal, yeah.
Because this is clearly ABS.
Yeah,
All right,
it
so
is.
What else you got in your magic box there, Kev?
this is the ultimate test.
Oh, you know what? Here. There you go, Mike. I'll bring that around, and I will hand the controller
my
to
God.
Kevin.
Well,
Oh.
Frank and Lola, you've met your, I would say match, but this is going to be disgusting.
This is the car that puts anyone in the neutral zone, except one guy who T-boned it. And still.
Well, Kevin, we don't keep you around for your witty commentary. We keep you around to do this.
Yes.
All right,
It's a shameless.
Well, somebody has to.
Go, Frank and Lola, go.
Come on, Frank and Lola, you have the inside track.
This is big block Ford versus big block Chevy.
why am I running the Ford?
I don't know. That's very surprising.
I mean, it's not like Mike is known for running any American vehicle.
That's true. Well, and I'm still not, because it's a British car. It just has an American engine. Which is true of Kevin's car as well.
Well, Ford super bankrolled the GT40 because they were like, okay, now Ferrari has to die.
Right.
And the ball bearing has not even loosened up, nor been oiled at all,
Of
which
all
is
the-
probably killing
Of
it.
all the dick moves in history, actually, the GT40 is probably the most successful. It was literally just a spite project and nothing more.
What about the... Ooh! What I lose?
I hope you heard that one on the mic.
Looks like you lost.
You lost your rear wing. Oh, I lost the
end.
Ooh.
Whoa, there goes the cow.
That's that. Speaking of the neutral zone, I believe that's where that's going.
Oh, man.
And now
They're like a thundering stampede.
I got it.
Another thing you want to realize,
Ooh.
guys, we are playing with cars that even when we bought them, never mind the fact that slot cars in general go up in value over time.
Yeah.
When we bought them, they were like $100 a pop.
And we're
And
just smashing that.
oh yeah, any of these cars, if they were mint, would probably be double sticker price.
You're talking about mint and stuff, are you? Here's the Jackie X car.
Oh, look at that. The actual,
Another ball bearing. The original.
How many ball bearing motors did you buy?
all of them. That's why you can't get them.
And then I called Scale Auto to tell them, discontinue these, except the Boxer.
Kevin bought so many that they're like, I guess we don't need to make anymore.
It is a good motor, I have to say.
Actually, that's a scale auto motor, isn't it?
Yeah, I just said that. I'm like, called Scale Auto. I said, only make the boxer
That
because
is
no one will
exactly-
buy that.
I wasn't paying attention because I was thinking of the Avant slot motor that was also renowned for being super good that they stopped making the
Because
rally
no one else
one.
made one.
But still, that was
Or ran Rally.
I don't care. It was an amazing motor that skirted our rules for our Can-Am race, which was so in flavor.
And just like the real Can-Am, I found a motor at first that was had so much downforce before that motor. Ah!
Go, Frank and Lola, go!
All right, so we proved tonight that NSR's fun brand, terrible bodies these days. But if you find some old ones, they're still pretty good,
my
and they
God.
still every now and then come out with the original.
I'm repainting your
molds.
wall orange right now.
Well, fortunately, Gulf Blue is close to the color of the wall.
The wheels are orange.
Going for the walking button pavement here.
All right, folks, I think we're going to call it a night. We're just going to enjoy playing with our hobby for a little bit here.
We haven't done this in months, actually.
So we're going to go ahead and say goodbye. We're going to have fun with
Oh,
some
I tried
slot
floating.
cars. Catch you next time. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Apparently, if you leave a comment, we will make an entire half-hour-long episode dedicated directly to your request.
Yeah,
so
we are desperate for your approval. So, like, if you give us things to do, we'll do them.
You are our number one fan.
please
You're
clap.
our only fan.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Bring us chocolate. Do 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 do. I took a video. I had to.